Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you two of my best games in my chess history. So let's start. This was a bug house game. I was with someone called I Like Trains and Stuff too. Let's see the game. Okay, I started with e4. My opponent started with e4, knight c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3. This looks like a standard opening, but this is a bug house game, so it's not an opening. Then I played e5, d3, bishop b4, bishop g5, takes, and h6. The point of h6 is to kick this bishop. Usually the bishop goes back, but I don't know why he Oops, sorry. But I don't know why he sacrificed his bishop on h6. I took back with the rook, which is completely natural. Then d4, e takes d4, c takes d4, and knight takes e4. I gained a pawn for my partner. Queen e2, he pins my knight. I can't move it, because if I try moving it, I can't. Because if I try moving it, the queen will take my king, and that's illegal. So what I did is I unpinned it. Now this could move, because then queens can't go through queens. So now it could move, and I defended it. Then he placed the knight on f5, broking my queen and my rook. I gave a check, so I can move my rook on the next move, so it's not really sacrificing anything. Then he blocks with the pawn, and I took it for free with check. He placed another pawn, but he sacrificed the rook. He placed the bishop on d1 to block the check, then rook to e6 again. There's a threat, like moving the knight anywhere, like here. Well, not here. Wait, moving the knight anywhere will win the queen since it is pinned to the king. So he placed the rook on g8 with check, and I placed the rook on f8. He placed the pawn on h7. He took and promote, and I put a bishop on f8. He put a rook on d8 check, knight takes d8, queen takes f8 check, king takes f8, queen at h8 check, and bishop at g8. Now this is where it gets so good. He places the pawn at h7, I think, and I thought that there was no stopping queen takes g7 checkmate. I can't run away with my king because of the knight. So then, and also I was low on time. You see, I only have 15.3 seconds. But then I placed the knight on c2 with checkmate, and it was unbelievable that I only had 6 milliseconds on the clock, as you can see right here. So moving on to game 2. So in this game, I'll be showing you something even better than the last game. Okay, so let's start. d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, and bishop g7. It's the normal variation of the King's Indian defense. Then e4, still the main line. d6, trying to play e5, and knight f3. Bishop g4, h3, he took, I took back, and knight c6. d5, attacking his knight and gaining some space in the center, and knight e5, centralizing his knight. Queen g3, c6, f4, knight e to d7, bishop e3, knight h5, queen g4, and castles. The castle queenside, and c takes d5. C takes d5, knight h to f6, queen f3, queen c7, bishop d4, rook a to c8. Trying to put some pressure on this file. King b1, I stepped out of the way, Knight c5, improving the position of his knight. e5, he took, I took back, and knight f to d7, putting some pressure on my pawn. I played bishop e3, knight takes e5, and queen e2, d6, bishop d4. My bishop is on a central square where it pressures the c5 and e5 knight. Rook f to d8, putting some pressure on my d5 pawn. g4, a6, bishop takes c5, queen takes c5, and I grabbed the pawn. Unfortunately, this was a mistake, but he played the wrong move. He played e6. Then I played queen b5, trading queens. He accepted, and if I played knight takes queen, then he would take my pawn and he would be a pawn up. I didn't let that happen. So what happened in the game is I took with the bishop and then rook c5, putting some pressure on my knight. My bishop, and I retreated. He played e takes d5, but I thought that b5 was better since it forces me back here, and and after pawn takes, my bishop is just locked out. But in the real game, he played e takes d5 right away, which is not the best move. I retreated with my bishop, d4, knight a4, rook c6, rook h to e1, d3, rook e3, d2, rook e2, knight f3, knight c3, and rook takes c3. He sacrifices rook, but he only has 29 seconds on the clock. That is what you're not supposed to do. I took back, he took, and I played king c2. But this led to a fork, which is knight d4 check, and that is exactly what he played. I took the bishop, he took my rook, and I went back. He gave a check. I came up again, trying to get a repetition since he was up material, but then he took. I took back with the pawn, rook d6, rook takes d2, rook takes d2, king takes d2, f6, king c3, king f7, king b4, king e6, king b5, f5, g takes f5, check, king takes d takes f5, king takes b6, f4, king c7, f3, b2, f2. It looks like that he's gonna promote first and win the game, but watch what happens. b5, queen, b6, check, king b7. Look at his time. He only has 2.9 seconds. That is not enough if you want a win. Queen c5, king a6, and it was on this position on move 53 that he ran out of time. And yeah, that is the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with all your friends. See you in our next video.